Hello traders, hello everyone. My name is Olimpio Tuns and today I will be your host here at this live webinar. Please confirm into the YouTube chat that you can hear me, that everything is okay, so we can start this live webinar. So I'm waiting for a confirmation into the YouTube chat. So today we'll talk about the Forex pairs, commodities, cryptocurrencies, indexes, and please guys, I'm also waiting for your questions into the YouTube chat. So please send your messages there and I will be glad to answer to all of your questions. Okay, thank you Adam. Okay. Please take a short moment at the beginning of this webinar to read this risk disclaimer. It is very important. And don't forget guys that you can join our VIP Telegram group by accessing the link posted right below this live webinar, below this video. Okay? Thank you guys. Okay guys, thank you. Okay, let's start with our open positions, and as you already know, we placed, so we have two open positions. We sent the signals into the VIP Telegram group. So for those who are not VIP members, you can join our VIP Telegram group by accessing the link posted right below this video. So we have a position, an open position here on DAX 30. It was a sell at market. So as you can see here, the index has found strong resistance here at the pivot point, at the weekly pivot point, 15,294.5. It has registered only false breakouts above this pivot point and now is pressuring this lower medium line of the ascending pitchfork. So personally I believe that a valid breakdown here could signal a further drop here in DAX 30 on the German stock index. Okay, so right now in the short term, its failure to stabilize here above the weekly pivot point has signaled a potential decrease in the short term. That's why we decided to go short today, and we sent the signal into the VIP Telegram group only. So you can join this Telegram group, the VIP Telegram group, to receive all our signals and to be able to get all our analyses, to have access to all our video analyses, also to have access to our daily watch list and to all our services. Okay, so that's why we decided here to go short on DAX. So this is not a trading recommendation right now. The signal with a potential take profit and stop loss was sent on the VIP Telegram group. Okay, who operates the Learn to Trade support? It is a different person from the three traders working on signals. Yeah, there are other members, other team members who run the support. Yes, the euro versus the US dollar. So we are long on this one as well, on euro versus the US dollar. The signal was sent into the VIP Telegram group, as I've said at the beginning of this webinar. Okay, so as I've told you today in my video analysis posted only into the VIP Telegram group, I told you that the bias is still bullish here on the euro versus the US dollar. As you can see, the price is traded right above this uptrend line. is still located above the weekly pivot. It has failed to reach it, and the bias is still bullish. That's why we decided today to go long here on euro versus the US dollar as well. So the long position is still active, is still valid, and the price could still reach the target. Okay, I will not show you here the entry and the take profit or the stop loss, only because this signal was sent into the VIP Telegram group. Yes, I will go through the US 30. Okay, I've talked about DAX, but I could take a look again at the end of this webinar. Yeah, do you think that we will hit the take profit on euro versus the US dollar? As I've told you, the bias is bullish, and the price's failure here to retest the pivot point, the uptrend line, could send the price higher. And let's take a look also on the DXY, on the US dollar index. You can see here on the DXY that the bearish is the bias is still bearish. The DXY is still bearish. It has retested this downtrend line, and as you already know from my previous live webinars analyses, the price has dropped. It has registered a new lower low here. It has dropped right below 90.85, also below 90.94 support area, below this 150% Fibonacci line, which it has represented a dynamic support, also below this lower medium line of the descending pitchfork. Now it has registered only a false breakout above these immediate resistance levels, so the bias is still bearish here, as you already know from my previous live webinars, from my analysis. So the DXY, the US dollar index, could continue to drop, and the further drop should push euro versus the US dollar higher. Okay, can we start trading with only $200? Yeah, you can start, but you should, and you have to use the minimum position when you open a trade. Okay guys, so let's take a look also here on the economic calendar, because I want to show you something. And at 3 p.m. UK time, the US is to release the CB Consumer Confidence indicator, and as you can see here, the specialists are expecting an increase from 109.7 to 113. A disappointment produced by this indicator, economic indicator, if the CB Consumer Confidence will increase less than 113, maybe if it will disappoint later, then the DXY should continue to drop and approach the weekly S1, also the 78.6 retracement level. Okay, and personally I believe that maybe only an important increase here, maybe to meet the expectations, or maybe a higher growth above expectations, could bring a temporary rebound here on the DXY. So let's take a look again on the euro versus the US dollar. Okay, so the pair is bullish, and as I've told you, we sent a signal into the VIP Telegram group today, and maybe the price will reach our take profit soon. Okay, so the price has decreased a little after reaching this 50% Fibonacci line, after failing to reach the downtrend line. So personally here I'm expecting the price to increase at least, and to reach at least this downtrend line in the short term. okay, because this failure here to reach the downtrend line has signaled a temporary decline before the price will jump higher again. And as I've told you earlier, if the CB consumer confidence will disappoint later in less than 1 hour, then the price could jump higher and could reach our take profit here. Okay, gold. Let's take a look on gold, guys. And as you already know from yesterday, from the VIP Telegram group, we placed and we sent a signal here on gold. We have a pending position. So the price has decreased a little after its failure to stabilize right above the medium line of the ascending pitchfork, and it has decreased a little only because the US dollar has the price has decreased here on gold as the US dollar has rebounded a little. Euro versus the US dollar has decreased a little, and that's why the DXY has increased a little. That's why gold has decreased a little in the short term, but now it has jumped again above the weekly pivot. It seems determined to come back higher, maybe to retest the medium line and maybe to approach again the R1, the first resistance. So in the short term, after the price's failure to approach the weekly S1 at 1761, also to approach to retest the 50% retracement level, the price could come higher to pressure to challenge again the weekly resistance R1 and maybe the medium line. And as I've told you, we have a pending position here on gold. Hi sir, can you show a status on New Zealand dollar versus the US dollar? Yes, we had a long position. We closed it in profit on the New Zealand dollar versus the US dollar in the last week, and I really hope that we will find a new setup on the New Zealand dollar versus the US dollar soon again. Okay, so the price of gold could increase a little in the short term if the US dollar will decline, will continue to depreciate. Okay, so if the DXY will continue to drop, then the price of gold could jump higher in the short term. Could you take a quick look if GBP versus the Japanese yen, I believe, will keep climbing? GBP versus, yeah, let's take a look. GBP versus the Japanese yen. So as you can see here, we had a temporary correction here. The price has escaped from this descending pitchfork. It has increased here as much as 156.41. It has reached the first warning line, which represented the dynamic resistance. It has decreased, has here retested the broken upper medium line, which acts now as the dynamic support. So now the price has increased a little. Here we had another drop, but here its failure to retest the upper medium line has signaled that the pair could jump higher in the short term. And as you can see here, the pair has registered an aggressive breakout above the weekly pivot, above 150.20. It is trapped within this ascending minor pitchfork, and it could continue to increase as long as it stays right above the lower medium line of the ascending pitchfork here, guys. So this is the lower medium line. One moment. Lower medium line of the minor ascending pitchfork. So you can see here I've selected 3 points, 1, 2, 3. Drop, only a false breakdown here, test, retest. So as long as the price will stay above, will be traded above this lower medium line, then it could continue to increase in the short term. Yes, we'll take a look also on GBP versus the Swiss franc, also on the euro versus the Japanese yen. Okay, and if you are already a VIP member, you received also a pending order on the US dollar versus the Japanese yen today. Okay, Canadian dollar versus the Japanese yen. First of all, let's take a look on the Nikkei. One moment, guys. So let's take a look here on Nikkei, because if the Japanese stock index will jump higher, then the Japanese yen will depreciate versus the other major currencies. Okay, so the index, the Nikkei, the Japanese stock index, is trapped within this triangle, within this chart pattern. It has registered here only a false breakdown below the upper medium line, below this uptrend line. Now it could retest the uptrend line and then it could jump higher. So a potential growth here registered by the Nikkei could signal that the Japanese yen could depreciate versus the other currencies. No, the gold pending order is still valid. So let's take a look also here on 6J, on Japanese yen futures. So very important here, if the price will drop here, the price will drop further here on Japanese yen futures, then the yen could depreciate further. Okay, so let's go back to the GBP versus the Japanese yen. So as I've told you, the price moves somehow sideways, but this one here, this aggressive breakout and bullish closure far above the weekly pivot, is signaling that the pair could continue to increase in the short term. Okay, and we can use this lower medium line as a dynamic support. And personally, I believe that only a valid breakdown below it could signal a potential drop here. So this is not a signal, and if you have a new buying signal here or a selling signal, we will send you guys the signals into the VIP Telegram group, so you can join it. Okay, let's take a look also on the GBP versus the Swiss franc. Thank you guys for all your messages and for all your questions. So let's take a look here. And as you can see here, we have an important uptrend. So this could still be only a temporary decline. We have an important support here at 1.2575, right? The price has found support higher around this level, 1.2642, and now it moves sideways. But as I've told you earlier, this could be only a temporary decline before the pair will jump higher again. And as you already know, the GBP is strongly bullish in the short term. We talked about gold, Aneta, but I will take a look again on it, only for you. Okay, so let's draw a potential downside pitchfork here, descending pitchfork here. And as you can see, the price has dropped and it has found support right below the medium line. It has failed to stabilize right below it, and now is testing, we're retesting the medium line of the descending pitchfork. So if the price stabilizes above the medium line, if it makes false breakdowns below it, or if it registers a bullish engulfing, a reversal pattern here, then it could jump higher again. Okay, so this pair is still bullish. The bias is still bullish despite this temporary drop here. We can draw another one here. One moment. And we'll select another color for this one, but we will not use it. And let's draw an ascending one here. 1 and 2 and 3 guys here. And as you can see, the price has increased a little, has registered here a false breakdown below the lower medium line, and now is testing and retesting this lower medium line. So as long as it stays above the medium line of the descending pitchfork, above the lower medium line of the ascending pitchfork, and if it will be rejected from this confluence area at the intersection between the lower medium line and the medium line, the price could jump higher again. And personally, I believe that if the price will register a new false breakdown here with great separation or a major bullish engulfing, then it should increase here. Again, this is not a signal, this is only for education, with educational purpose. Okay, I will try to answer to all of your questions, guys. So GBP versus, now we'll continue with Euro versus the Japanese yen. So the bias is bullish. The price has escaped here from a descending pitchfork's body and now is almost to reach a fresh new high. Okay, so we had this consolidation here. The price has registered only false breakdowns here below 129.83, below the weekly support, and now it has escaped from this extended range, so the bias remains bullish, and a potential valid breakout here above the R1, above the weekly resistance, above 130.97, it could signal a potential growth here, further growth. As I've told you, if the Japanese stock index will continue to increase after the temporary decline, then the Japanese yen will drop, will depreciate versus its rivals. Okay. Okay, I missed the DAX trade. Sorry, guys. And let's continue. One moment, guys. So with the Canadian dollar versus the Japanese yen again. So maybe we had an opportunity here on this aggressive breakout here above 86.50. Now the price is almost to reach the first target, represented by the medium line of the ascending pitchfork. it has jumped above the weekly R1, so it remains to see how it will react here at the medium line of the ascending pitchfork. Here the price has decreased a little within this down channel, within the descending pitchfork's body. It has failed to approach to reach the medium line, signaling that we may have an upside breakout and a potential upside movement, a swing higher. So the increase is natural here. And let's use also these two, 150% Fibonacci line and the first warning line. So these here, the warning line and the 150% Fibonacci line. So the warning line and the medium line represent immediate resistance levels, and I believe that only something like this, maybe a valid breakout above these resistance levels, could signal further growth. Also, this scenario, further growth will take shape if the Japanese stock index, the Nikkei, will continue to increase after the minor retreat, the minor decrease. Okay guys, so let me take a look. Can we go over? Yes, we will take a look on the US 30. So let's take a look on the US 30, guys. Okay, so US 30, I will delete this one from here because the price failed to reach our, one moment guys. Okay, so the price continues to move sideways, as I've told you on my previous live webinar on Friday. So I've told you that a potential valid breakout here could signal a further growth, and I've told you that a potential valid breakdown here below 33,697 could signal a temporary decline. So we are in a sideways movement here within a range, and we have to wait for the price to bring us confirmation. And as I told you on Friday, the bias is still bullish. Okay, so we have a strong uptrend, so the bias is bullish, and the current accumulation, sideways movement, or a temporary decline here, retreat, could help us guys to catch a new upside movement here on the US 30. Okay, how to join the crypto pump signal group, please? I really like to get news and info from foreign people. Okay, so you can visit our website, and there you have, or I will send you maybe the link here, or you can visit our website and you can go and you can find the crypto section into our main menu, and there you will find the crypto Telegram group. Okay, so US 30, personally I'm waiting here maybe only or maybe for a false breakdown here, test retests, or for a bullish engulfing here before the price jumps higher, or maybe if the price continues to move sideways here, and then if it makes a valid breakout here, then it could continue higher. So we need confirmation here. Okay, let's continue with the GBP versus the New Zealand dollar. So as I've told you in a previous live webinar, the bias was still bearish. I believe we were here when we talked last time about this one. So I've told you that the price could continue to drop towards the former lower low, towards the weekly support, and now the price, it should approach and reach again the medium line, and we'll have to wait to see how it will react here around the medium line of the major descending pitchfork. Okay, and guys, I really hope that we can open also a trade here live during this webinar. So is euro versus GBP in a reversal from the downtrend? I will take a look also on the euro versus the pound. Yeah, the gold order is still active. Okay, the pending order that was sent yesterday into the VIP Telegram group. So for those who are not VIP members, you can still catch this trade, this pending order on gold. So you can join our VIP Telegram group by accessing the link posted right below this webinar. Okay, so we don't have something here. Personally, I believe that only a new lower low here could signal a further drop. The bias is still bearish as long as the price stays right below this downtrend line. And personally, I believe that only a valid breakout above this downtrend line, maybe stabilization above the medium line of a valid breakout above this downtrend line could signal a potential reversal here. Okay, on the GBP versus the New Zealand dollar. The bias is still bearish, guys. Let's move forward and let's take a look on other markets. Thank you guys for all your messages. Let's take a look on the GBP versus the Canadian dollar. We had a long position here, if you remember. It was stopped out with a minor loss. After the price, it has reached this uptrend line. So a potential breakdown here, valid breakdown here below 61.8, below the weekly support, could signal a further decline here on GBP versus the Canadian dollar. I will delete this one from here. So the pair could extend its correction if the price will register a valid breakdown here below the 61.8%, below the weekly S1. But maybe we'll have a long entry here, and if we'll have a confirmation here, we will send you the signal within the VIP Telegram group. So as you can see here, we have a strong support area. So another maybe false breakdown here could signal a new upside momentum here on the GBP versus the Canadian dollar. Right now we don't have a buying opportunity here, as the price only has retested the 61.8. It has failed to reach the S1. So personally, I want to see maybe a false breakdown here below these two static support levels with great separation, or a reversal pattern, before I will consider going long here again. Right, so we are in a support area, and we may have a new upside momentum if the price fails to register a valid breakdown below this support area. Okay, guys, euro versus US dollar. Aneta, we already talked about this one, also about DAX, but I will take a look again on these two at the end of the webinar. I will take a look also on the Australian dollar versus the US dollar. Thank you guys. Thank you, Hamza. And as I've told you, I really want to open a live trade here today during this live webinar. Right after I will finish to take a look on all markets, and I will take a look on the Australian dollar versus the US dollar right now. Okay, so the bias is still bullish, even if the price has printed here a potential double top here. The price, it has increased within an ascending pitchfork. The medium line acts as a strong dynamic resistance, so the false breakout here above the R1, the medium line retest, has sent the price lower in the short term, but as long as it stays above this one here, above this 50% Fibonacci line, maybe something like this, we may have a new upside momentum after the price maybe will retest the weekly pivot, the 50% Fibonacci line, before jumping higher. And this potential here double top could be validated only if the price will drop here and if it escapes from the ascending pitchfork's body. If it drops here below these former lower lows, then we could think that the pair could drop further. And as you can see here, I will draw here a sliding parallel line, and I will place it here because I really want to show you why the price has decreased a little in the short term, because it has reached this sliding line, also the medium line, the weekly resistance. So we are in a resistance area here, so the temporary drop is natural. Okay, and as I've told you, if the price will retest these, maybe if it will stabilize right above this one, then it could continue to increase. But right now we don't have an opportunity here. Okay, yeah, Neta, thank you. Okay, US dollar versus the Japanese yen. I will hide these from here. Sorry guys. We have sent a pending order on the US dollar versus the Japanese yen into the VIP Telegram group today. So if you still want to get this pending order, it is still valid. You can join our VIP Telegram group. So as you already know from my previous analysis from my yesterday's video analysis, the price has decreased significantly in the short term, and now it has found support right on the 38.2 retracement level. Now it has jumped above the downtrend line, signaling a potential bullish momentum in the upcoming period. But still, we are in a resistance area here, represented by 108.33. So if the price will take out this resistance area, then it could continue higher. Also, we cannot exclude here a potential drop after this breakout, aggressive breakout above the downtrend line, to test and retest it, to test and retest the weekly pivot, also maybe to test and retest the 38.2 retracement level before going higher. And as you already know from my yesterday's video analysis, I've told you that the bias remains bullish here despite this drop, as long as the price stays above the uptrend line. And as I've told you, the price could come back down to test and retest these immediate support levels before jumping higher. Okay, and if the DXY, the US dollar index, will jump higher, let's take a look again on the DXY. If the DXY will jump higher today, right after the CB consumer confidence will be released, then the dollar versus the Japanese yen will jump higher. Okay, so if the DXY jumps above the downtrend line, maybe above the weekly pivot, above the 61.8, if the DXY, the US dollar index, invalidates a further decline here, then the US dollar versus the Japanese yen could continue to increase and to resume its rebound here. Okay, so also if the price will make a valid breakout here, maybe above the 108.54, above the weekly R1, if it will come back above the ascending pitchfork medium line, then it could continue to increase. Okay guys, let's move forward. Crude oil, let's talk also about crude oil. Thank you guys for all your messages, but first of all, let's take a look on the GBP versus the Singapore dollar. And sorry guys, okay, because as I've told you, I have something here, a buy stop setup for you guys. So let's place this trade into our real account, guys. So let's find here the GBP versus the Singapore dollar. Okay guys, so I will use a position size calculator here. So we'll place a buy stop at 1.8475. So 84.75. Okay, and we'll use a stop loss at 1.8360. $83.60. So personally, I will open two trades on this one, on the GBP versus the Singapore dollar. So my position size will be 0.06, and I will open one position 0.03 with a take profit, and 0.03 with a second take profit. Okay, so volume 0. You should open with the volume, with a different volume. It depends on your account, on your amount. Okay, so personally I'm using a volume of 0.03. okay, buy stop 1.8475. My stop loss will be at 83.60, and my first take profit will be at 1.8592. Okay, place. And as you can see here, I'm risking only $26, 115 pips on this trade if the price will reach our entry, and our take profit will bring $26.47. Okay, and let's open the second position with a higher take profit. Buy stop again, 1.8476. $1.8360, and our take profit, our second take profit will be at 1.8767. Okay, place. One moment, guys. Stop loss 60 guys. Modify. Okay, so yes, I will send it to the VIP and free group as well. One moment. So we placed a buy stop pending order on the GBP versus the Singapore dollar, and I will send you also the signal into the VIP and free group. Okay, guys, I will send it right after the webinar ends, because I really want to talk about other Forex pairs, and I want to answer to some of your questions, because the pending position will be active also after the webinar ends, because as you can see, the price is traded far below our entry. So I will send you the signal right after the webinar ends. Okay, let's take a look on the crude oil, US oil. So the price has decreased a little after it failed here to stabilize right above the medium line. It has found support at 60.64 and now is pressuring the medium line, the weekly pivot. And personally, I believe that a consolidation here could send the price higher in the short term. The bias remains bullish, as you already know from my analysis from my live webinars. I can find it in eToro. Sorry, Zigor. Yeah, we use an AVA trade MetaTrader 4 real account, so unfortunately, but don't worry, Zigor, we will send you other signals on other Forex pairs, commodities, indexes, cryptocurrencies. I really want to talk also about Ethereum and also about Bitcoin today in this live webinar. So okay, so the bias is bullish here after this temporary drop, a consolidation here above the weekly pivot, above 62.36, above the medium line, could indicate that the price could jump higher. And personally, I'm waiting for something like this, maybe a consolidation here, sideways movement as retest of the medium line, and then if we'll have a valid breakout here above the upper medium line of the descending pitchfork after its failure to approach to reach the medium line, could bring us a new long entry here, a new opportunity. So this is not a signal here. If we'll have a signal, we will send it into the VIP Telegram group. So please join our VIP Telegram group. So the price has decreased, and if it fails to stabilize right above the weekly pivot below the medium line, it could jump higher. And as we already know here, the price failed to stabilize right below the 23.6 retracement level. It has invalidated a potential deeper drop, a potential larger correction, so the bias is bullish here on the US oil. And if the US dollar will drop in the short term, if it will continue to drop versus the major other currencies, then the US oil could jump higher, could resume its growth. Okay, let's take a look also on DAX again, DAX 30. I promised you guys that we will take a look again. And as I've told you earlier at the beginning of this webinar, the German stock index has found strong resistance here at the weekly pivot point. It has registered only false breakouts, and now it's testing, retesting. It has retested this dynamic, this static support, this static resistance, sorry guys, and now it's pressuring a dynamic support here, the lower medium line of the ascending pitchfork. A valid breakdown below it could signal a further drop here. And let's take a look also on the euro versus the GBP. So I've told you on Friday in my previous live webinar that we have here a strong dynamic resistance represented by the medium line of the ascending pitchfork. The price has registered only false breakouts above it, so personally I'm waiting for a valid breakout above it, and maybe for a valid breakout above the upper medium line of the major descending pitchfork before considering going long here. And if we'll have a setup here, a new signal, you will get it guys in the VIP Telegram group. So if the price stabilizes right above this one, above maybe the weekly resistance, above the 38.2, if it will make a valid breakout here above the upper medium line, then it could continue to increase within this ascending pitchfork's body. It could continue to increase around the medium line of this ascending pitchfork, but right now we don't have a potential setup here, a potential signal. Let's take a look also on Bitcoin. The price, very important, and why the price of Bitcoin could continue to increase. The price of Bitcoin has printed this one here on Sunday, this pin bar, this hammer, followed by a strong bullish candle, a breakout above this immediate downtrend line, above the weekly pivot, above 51,541, static resistance. So that's why the price of Bitcoin has increased in the short term. It has invalidated here a potential further drop after failing to close to stabilize right below the 150% Fibonacci line. Now it's traded right above the first warning line and right below the weekly resistance, and right below a new downtrend line. So the price of Bitcoin could decrease maybe a little in the short term from this resistance, again to test and retest these before continuing higher. And in the medium to the long term, the bias remains bullish despite this corrective phase. And the price of Bitcoin could drop again only if it will make a false breakout with great separation here, or if it will print a reversal pattern here after this aggressive rebound, then it could decrease a little in the short term. as long as it stays right below this immediate downtrend line. And I believe that a valid breakout here could signal a potential further increase here on Bitcoin. Ethereum. So the price of Ethereum increased as well, as the price of Bitcoin has jumped higher. And I've told you that this area 2040.62 represents a strong support area, the static support. The price has failed to retest it. Also the weekly support signaling strong buyers in the short term on Ethereum. So the price has jumped above the second warning line, above the weekly pivot, and now is pressuring the upside line of this ascending channel. So we are again near strong resistance area, and I believe that only a valid breakout, something like this, above the weekly R1 2626, above the upside line of the ascending channel, could signal a further increase here on Ethereum. So we are into a resistance area, and we need a valid breakout here to confirm a further growth here on Ethereum. Okay, and maybe if the price will register a new higher high here to jump, close, stabilize, consolidate, then it could continue to increase. Or if it will make another false breakout above this area to jump and above these resistance levels and to close below this resistance area, then it could decrease again in the short term. And personally I believe that if the price of Bitcoin will decrease a little in the short term, that Ethereum could decrease a little in the short term as well. Let's go back on the euro versus the US dollar. So the bias remains bullish. We have a long position here on the euro versus the US dollar, and the price could still reach our target as long as it's traded right above this uptrend line. Okay, and if it will close and stabilizes right above 1.2079, then it could continue to increase with a potential target here at the downtrend line. Guys, personally I still believe that the pair could approach and reach it after this failure to reach the downtrend line in the last attempt, right? And let's take a look also on the DXY. Right now is very important because in less than 1 minute the CB consumer confidence, the US CB consumer confidence will be released, and let's see how the market reacts. Okay, and let's take a look here on the 1 hour. We had a temporary rebound here, and let's see how the price reacts right after the CB consumer confidence will be released. We already talked about the Australian dollar versus the US dollar, Hamza. We don't have anything there at this moment, and we'll have to wait. So let's refresh our economic calendar again, and whoa, we have an important growth here. CB consumer confidence, the US CB consumer confidence has beaten expectations. It has increased from 109 to 121.7, guys. So let's take a look here how the DXY reacts after this good data reported by the US. So the DXY could jump higher in the short term here. Okay, it has changed a little after the CB consumer confidence was released, but personally I'm expecting today to see sharp moves here. But as I've told you today in this live webinar, the bias remains bearish as long as the price stays right below this downtrend line, even if the DXY will jump higher a little in the short term. Okay, DAX, let's take a look again. Yeah, it continues to pressure this dynamic support here. Euro versus the US dollar is still bullish, as the DXY is still bearish, guys. DXY, let's take a look again. Let's take a look here as well on another economic calendar. Yeah, 109.7 increase from 109.7 to 121.7. A major growth, an important growth, beating expectations. 113.1. So this could be good for the US dollar in the short term. That's why the DXY could increase a little in the short term. As you can see here on 1 hour, the DXY tries to jump higher right after the CB consumer confidence was released, was published. Okay, so it could approach and reach the 91 psychological level today in today's trading session. And let's take a look again on the GBP versus the Singapore dollar. We placed a buy stop pending order here, and I will send you guys the signal also in the VIP and in the free group right after we'll close and we'll end this live webinar. Please guys, if you have more questions, if you want me to look on other markets, let's take a look also on the US 100 on Nasdaq. And as you can see here, Nasdaq has increased, has bounced back from the weekly support, from the upper medium line of the upper medium line of the major descending pitchfork, and now it has reached a strong static resistance. Screen freeze. Okay guys, sorry for that, I don't know why. It should continue. So sorry guys about that issue. So Nasdaq 100, US 100 could decrease a little in the short term if the US dollar will jump higher after the better than expected CB consumer confidence data. Okay, So it could continue to move sideways in the short term before resuming its upside movement. Okay. Okay, guys, please confirm, guys, that you can still hear me. Okay. Euro versus the GBP. Kim, we already talked about the Euro versus the GBP, and I've told you earlier that the price has reached and it was rejected again from this medium line of the ascending pitchfork, from this dynamic resistance line. So in the short term it could decrease a little. Okay, so as I've told you earlier, the price could move sideways in the short term here, euro versus the pound, before bringing a new opportunity here. Okay, so it has rebounded, but the medium line of the ascending pitchfork acts and it represents a strong dynamic resistance, and the price was rejected again. It could move sideways before deciding a new direction, before either making a value breakout above the medium line, above the upper medium line, above the R1, above the 38.2 to confirm a further growth, or it could come back down and maybe it could drop towards the lower medium line if it stabilizes right below the 23.6, below the weekly support. Sorry guys for that issue. Yeah, unfortunately our screen was freezed for a few moments, but we are still live here, and if you have more questions, please guys, other questions, I'm still here and I'm available to answer to your questions. Let's take a look also on the silver at the end of this webinar. Silver has retested the weekly pivot 26,092, and now it could continue to increase. It could stabilize right above the upper medium line of the major descending pitchfork, and maybe a new higher high here could signal a further growth. Okay, thank you guys. So the price of silver could jump higher if gold will continue to increase as well. And let's take a look again. Euro versus the Canadian dollar. Yeah, I will take a look on that as well. So the XY has changed a little after the CB consumer confidence was released. The bias is still bearish. The US bulls, the US dollar bulls, are still out of the game. That's why the euro versus the US dollar could continue to increase here. Yeah, the DAX 30 price could differ from a broker to another broker, so unfortunately we have different prices on CFDs. Okay, so I will take a look also on the euro versus the Canadian dollar, guys. I've told you on Friday in my previous live webinar that the bias is still bearish. The price has registered here a major bearish engulfing right on the downtrend line, signaling that the drop could resume after this temporary rebound here. And let's take a look also on the 4-hour chart. So the price has dropped right below the medium line of the minor ascending pitchfork. It has found temporary support on the weekly support 1.4963. Now it could maybe retest the medium line before dropping deeper, guys. So the bias is still bearish here